Hello everybody, my name is Karis and this is Charisma Tarot, and I just filmed a whole video, like long. I didn't film it, I did a whole reading and I didn't press play, so now I hit play. Thank the Lord. This needs to be relayed. That's fine. We're gonna leave that. I can deal with this. I'm good. Okay, so this is my Project Love Your Enemies tarot video series, and I am here to talk to my conservative viewers. Last week, I did a video about Mega and told them what they needed to hear right now, and it ended up being a little bit critical. So I'm going to channel what you should love about yourself, and it's going to be positive. First, we're going to do some light worker tarot, and it's going to be straightforwardly things you already kind of know about yourself. Things you already kind of know about yourself and love about yourself. And then we're going to do the Santa Muerte tarot, and it's going to be things in your shadow. You know about yourself, but you kind of am growing to love. And then I'm going to use this baby angel to do some clarification on those things and just add depth. And then we're going to do the chakra healing deck, which, again, clarification and depth, and more clarification and depth with Mother Mary, and finally a last little bit with Mary Magdalene. Okay, I am mostly channeling Jesus and the Christian God, but also my higher self, and I pull in some new age ideas as well. Okay. Conservative friends, what do you love about yourself? Oh, that just really popped right out. 8 of Pentacles, you are a hard worker. I love that about you too. And reversed, we got 7 of Swords. You are extremely honest. That's beautiful. And finally, we got Judgment. You trust your judgment and you have good judgment. And that's beautiful. Okay, we're gonna explore this a little bit more. I'm actually gonna pull 3 more of these cards for clarification to put underneath. Page of Cups. Okay, this is a similar reading to the last one. Oh, and I did pull this card in that exact same spot last time, except it was upright before. This is great. And then the Lovers, right. Okay, so I just forgot to hit play last time. I'm gonna stick with the same themes. This is for the same people. It wasn't that I wasn't supposed to share the other message. It was just that it didn't come out right, I guess. Okay. So primarily, you are a hard worker. You know how to set your emotions aside to get things done. Hang on, I'm gonna zoom out a bit so you can fully see. Okay. 7 of Swords reversed, and this one here represents the Bible and what you go to for guidance. Torah is the Torah, and with the 7 of Swords reversed, you're very honest about how you interpret the Bible. You're not hiding your beliefs from anyone. Okay, this one's less about your intuition and goals. The other one had a lot of cards about your goals in life and where you're going. Anyway, this one's about three main categories. First is practical, hard worker, set aside your emotions, don't get caught up in woo-woo nothing. Second one is you're honest about what you read and know and the patterns you see in the world. Third one, you have good judgment about people. This is specifically about people. You love the way that you see people. You see the good in people. That's beautiful. Why are you mega? Why are you conservative? But that's my opinion. I'm just telling you good things about yourself. You can love those things about yourself. I guess you already knew that. Okay, let's go. The things you struggle to love about yourself and help you integrate them into the things that you already do love about yourself. The Hanged Man reversed. The Hanged Man's an interesting card because it's already kind of a reversal. Upright, the Hanged Man is about getting a different perspective. And then reversed, it's about maintaining your perspective as valid, even when it doesn't look valid in the world. It's about faith. Okay. Here we have the Four of Pentacles. That is about control, stubbornness. Interesting. It's a shadow trait. This is interesting. It's a shadow trait. Okay. And then we have, oh, what was this? The Magician. Right. Also very interesting that this section is 3 major arcana cards. Okay. You might see yourself as manipulative. You're not. Okay. The Seven of Swords reversed means you're not manipulative. Hi, my other cat is here. Alphonse, you can't beat her. Get. Right. Okay. Oh my goodness. So the structure here is that these 3 things that you struggle to like about yourself are actually these 3 things that you already know you like about yourself. And I'm going to explain to you how they have actually been the same thing the entire time. I'm also going to do past, present, and future to tell you the direction you're going and how can you be proud of that. Okay, so with the Hangman reversed, this is wild to me, but you wonder if you are unintelligent for sticking to your guns. Or rather, that you're doing things wrong, that you're not being caught. Both of these are also Pisces. You're like, am I wrong to abandon my emotions? I'm actually here to say you're not abandoning your emotions. You're very practical and thoughtful about your emotions. Yeah, you can trust yourself. This is weird because here you know you can trust yourself, but here you question whether you should trust your emotions more. You do process your emotions. You do. As their own thing. You keep them in a box separate from not just your work life, but also the action you take in the world. You make decisions practically based on the impact they're going to have on other people and yourself, and the world at large, and whether that impact is something that aligns with your values. And your values are based on your emotions. And this is how we know you're not abandoning your emotions. Values are always an emotional thing. They're like at the bottom of the day. That didn't make sense. At the end of the day, at the bottom of the bag, whatever words, you want other people and yourself to be happy. You want a positive quality of life for everybody. This is what everybody wants. This is just the human goal. Bring heaven to earth. But the approach you take is very much like you're like, oh, I got to my values logically. Like, sometimes I think you confuse the idea of values with what you think is the most practical way to get those values. So for example, I might say, I value generosity, but I don't actually value generosity in and of itself. Because generosity that didn't make a positive impact on people wouldn't be valuable to me. I'm not going to throw my pearls to swine. Not that people are swine, but that I'm not going to invest in anyone or anything that isn't going to have some kind of positive impact. So how do we define positivity? This is an emotional thing. And you might be thinking, no, it's a practical thing. It's about bodily health. But the only reason we care about bodily health is because it makes us grumpy when we're sick and in pain. If there was no emotional impact to bodily physical things, we would not attend to them. We are mental, emotional, and physical. Mental, emotional, and physical. And you emotionally attribute value easily to physical things the most. I'm getting the sense. You're a gut-based person. That came out in the other writing too. You're a very gut-based person, which is awesome. I'm very not. I'm a very emotions and brain, probably emotions first and brain right up there as a second, and then gut just like low priority. I'm learning to manifest physical things currently. And I get the sense that manifestation, physical things, making stuff happen, tangibility has been your starting point. And then seeing how these things impact you emotionally is like the last thing you're gonna get to in your progression. So yeah, I'm gonna say this is physical, this is mental, this is emotional. The mental is the bridge between the physical and the emotional for you. And you continually mistake emotional conclusions for mental ones. The mental translates the emotion. So you're like, if something hurts your foot, say you step on a pebble and you hurt your foot, and then you're like, ow, that hurts. You might think like, oh, I acknowledge that this hurts, but like, you wouldn't have that knowledge if your emotions didn't tell you it. And physically, the emotions came from the physical thing. So there's a circle here. I gotta bring this back to like what you can love about yourself. You can love your heart. Why am I hearing that? Why am I hearing you can love your heart? Okay, your heart for what you want to happen in the world. This is telling you you can love your values. You can be proud of yourself for valuing what you do. And you can nurture your values by exploring them and developing them. You might be producing something, say you make candles, you're really good at making candles, you use your brain to make the highest quality of candles, you make lots of them physically in the world, and you give them to people, and it makes people happy, and that's beautiful. You can also explore like different values that you might have. I keep switching this to advice. My brain is very advice pilled. And I want it to be compliment pilled for this video. You are smart, you are practical, and you are kind. You just gotta be aware of your kindness so you can appreciate it. And then we have the Seven of Swords, you are honest, and then for interpretation we have the Wheel, you are honest about what you see. This, in this context, represents your theology. Okay, yeah. So there's like a bluntness. You're honest in the sense that you might be a little bit like me, like a little advice pilled. You're very straightforward. You're like, you should do this and this and this, or maybe not you should, or maybe it's like, it says this and this and this. And the shame here, the part you need to love more, is the so-called control, and then reframe that as honesty, because maybe you're holding back from really sharing your thoughts. Like, I feel like when you share your thoughts, you're very honest and straightforward about it, but then sometimes you're like, oh no, did I say the wrong thing? Like, was I too aggressive, too pushy, too stubborn? And the answer is no. And in order to become less aggressive, pushy, stubborn, you need to talk more about what you really think. Like, you're always going to be honest. You don't have to question, oh no, am I really being honest here? You're always going to be honest, and you know that, because you already know that you're honest, and you already are proud of that. But this is saying that the path to more truth is through, and the path to more righteousness is through talking it through with people, and letting them call you out. The Seven of Swords here specifically, there might be some aversion to criticism, where you hold back. Got this in the other reading too. It was about your dreams and goals. It was about like, you might not always tell other people what your dreams and goals are because they're not a safe place to talk about them with, but then it's like you can talk to God, you can talk to your angels, you can talk to yourself in the shower. This is telling you to confront what you really think, and when you are put up with challenges about that, it will make you more honest with yourself and with other people, and more flexible. Challenges will actually make you more flexible and not more stubborn. You don't need to just listen all the time. You can talk and you can share. And when you do that, even sometimes just saying the words out loud or writing them down, even talking in the mirror, gives you a different perspective. And you might be like, oh no, that's cringe, and then go back into keeping those views the same and keeping them to yourself because they're cringe, but you don't want to change them. Because you don't want to go through the process of being embarrassed that you may have been incorrect. But also you may discover you were right the whole time. You may be even more right than you think. You may be even more wise, right? And maybe you should be more pushy and more stubborn. But the point is that when you bring what you really think to the surface, your truths can be revealed and worked with and molded. And if they're the right truths, they will be dug even deeper into the ground, and you will be more stable and more solid about them. And if they're not really truths, then that will be revealed, and it is good that they should be revealed, right? But I'm getting the sense that you're more right than you think you are. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm happy for you. Very humble of me to say Megas, well, not necessarily Mega, that a conservative is more right than they think they are. I am the humblest and the bestest. Thank you for your appreciation. Then we have Judgment and the Lovers and the Magician. So this is that you have good judgment about people, you have good intuition about people, especially one-on-one, especially with your partner. And your partner appreciates this about you. People in general appreciate my cats. People in general do appreciate my cats. I have several. But people in general like your insight. You know, you have like a deep intuition. Very gut-based, very intuitive. That came out in the last reading a lot, that your intuition, it was more future-y vibed. And this is more relationally vibed. You may be an ENFJ, if you believe in that. But yeah, like you see things in people they don't see in yourselves, and because of how practical you are, you're not necessarily telling them these things, but you're responding to them. Yeah, I get the sense you're not a super verbal person. But that you are interacting with them on the physical plane in a way that's very responsive to parts of themselves they're not even aware of. And so they're like, oh wow, this person just gets me. And you're like, yeah, I do kind of just get most people. And then you might shy away from that power the same way you might shy away from speaking your truth. Because you don't want to end up being manipulative to people. You might just like hesitate to act with people. It's a talking to people and the responding to people specifically where you're like, that's not my lane. In the other reading, it came out that you are very good at staying in your lane and you wish people did that more, and that's awesome. People should stay in their lane more, you're completely right. But you specifically have a wider lane than you think you do. You have this gift of insight, both into truth, you know, biblical texts, and also into people, that if you don't share these insights, first of all, you can never find out if you're right or wrong. But second, with this one, it was a little more like a lack of confidence because you might come across too confident. But with this one, it's more of a lack of confidence. Right? Actually, no, that's true for both. You are, it seems, like you love your honesty, you love your insight when you hold it within yourself, but you could love it even more by showing it to people and giving it the dignity of being criticized, right? Because if your insight is really as amazing and brilliant as you know it is, which a lot of it is, and you're a very smart person, you might not be very verbal or like intellectual. And you know you're a good problem solver. You know you're a good solution giver. But there's like a fear of visibility. Like, you don't want to be too stubborn, you don't want to be too manipulative. You don't even want to engage with your own emotions because you might crush them. You're very protective of your heart, and that's beautiful. And keep being protective of your heart. Like in the other reading, It was like, don't be vulnerable with people who don't get you. You see people well enough to know whether or not someone gets you. There are people who do get you. And you can love yourself by letting them speak into your life. And you can love yourself by acting on the power you know you have with good judgment. Because you know you have good judgment. And you could speak into people's lives. You could give people advice. I said before, oh, you might be a little advice pilled. And that might be true for some viewers. For the energy line I'm on right now, you are like the opposite of advice pilled. You're like nurturing pilled. I did get the sense also in the other one that you're like a very motherly figure and nurturing person, and that's beautiful. But your nurturing is more practical. You help people, you make them food, you do nice things for them. You may even actually make candles, but the judgment here is in the calling people out, or in the responding in a way so that you influence people. Like, you don't want to trudge over anyone's free will, and that's partially here too. You might limit saying what you think is true and just keep quiet because you're afraid that your honesty might influence someone. And even if it's in the right direction, you want them to go into the right direction because they want to, not because you told them to. But like, this isn't true for every ENFJ. There are evil and manipulative people in the world. But you, my dear viewer, are not going to let someone do something they don't want to do. If you see someone being swayed too much toward your way because of something that may have been manipulative, you'll like stop the conversation. You'll be like, yes, I think you should do this thing, but not because I tell you to. And you'll like make them think it through for themselves. And if you don't give yourself the opportunity to give people the opportunity to hear you out, right? Then you're never gonna see how positively you can impact people. And this is your values. You can love yourself by seeing your values come to fruition in other people's lives. You can create a container with boundaries. You can create boundaries around people that help them grow in the right direction. And like cosmologically, for you, not for everyone, by the way, it is possible to trample on people's free will, but cosmologically, for you, you can trust that it is impossible for you to trample on other people's free will. You can trust that the boundaries you create for people, that the rules you make for other people to follow will be broken if other people want to break them. You are not so controlling that you can't let people live freely. You do have, based on this card, a strong will that you mostly keep to yourself. And you're very disciplined within yourself. And this is saying you can love yourself by disciplining other people the way that you discipline yourself. And by extension, sometimes you're a little too hard on yourself, and you might hold yourself back from criticizing others or sharing your truth because you don't want to be hard on others the way you are on yourself. But the more you put yourself out there and the more you see how your words impact others, you'll self-reflect and realize this is how easy I am on other people, but it still gets results from them. So I can be easier on myself and still get results from myself. Okay. That was a reading, part of a reading. We're still going to get the oracle cards. Next, I wanted to do these. I did 4 of these. I'm going to do 4 again, unless they're up top. Things you can love about yourself. Things you can love about yourself and ways that you can love yourself. Quiet time. Homework. Your angels are always with you. That came out in the last reading. And then this one's supposed to be this card. Angel lights. Maybe it's not. This came in the last reading too. Okay. These 2 are going to be interpreted as one card. Okay. Whew. Maybe I should put all the cards out before interpreting. I think I shall. These came out in the last reading as well. And that did too, but I feel like I'm supposed to pull a different one. Okay. Okay. Can we see these? That may have paused. You may have missed something. I'm going to post this video even if it's clunky because I'm just trying to get my channel started. I hope it resonates with people. Hope you didn't miss too much there. Okay, Oracle cards. How can you love yourself and what can you love about yourself? Okay, quiet time, homework. This is introspection. Homework. This, I feel like a lot of people here are Christians. I'm Christian somewhat. I'm a Christian heretic. I'm a happy Christian heretic. Yeah. So quiet time, homework. This is like biblical devotionals. This is studying the Bible. This is maybe doing homework. This might just be reading the book. Your angels are with you. This again, devotionals, angel lights, and don't let others make you feel bad. I trust divine timing. Everything comes from within. Oh, that's the key. Okay. Everything comes from within. Oh, wow. Okay. This is all just one message. God speaks to you through yourself. The other reading was about learning to speak before you think. Speak from your gut and then process it after. There was a sense of you'll know it when you see it, which is the way you approach your destiny and exploring the unknown. But there's also a sense of you can love yourself even more by you'll know it when you hear it. So there's this whole world inside you that you can explore that's just as big and wide and wonderful as interesting as the outer world, which you can achieve goals in. But the inner world has a whole garden for you to be safe in. Your goals and dreams, this is from the last reading, are very big, and you have a lot of ambitions. And when you don't pursue them, it's because you haven't had the courage, even though you are a very courageous person. It's easier for you to be courageous in the outer world, but you could be even more courageous in the outer world if you took breaks to first go into yourself and bring your inner world into reality. So when you have a thought that you should act, you do act. You are a good obedient to convictions actor. If you feel that someone needs help, you will help them. If you see a need, you meet a need. But you have a sense deep down that there's a specific dream and destiny for you, and you won't have thoughts to go chase that destiny if you don't open the channel from your heart to your mind. It is very narrow, and tiny little bubbles come up, and then your mind will turn those emotions into thoughts, and you will act on them. You're very faithful to act on them when your emotions turn into thoughts. But you could be even more faithful if you acted to dive into your heart and spend time there and practice going into yourself and then out of yourself, and then into yourself and then out of yourself. Make that pathway easy so that you don't have collapses where you're just suddenly completely internal because you've been outside for so long. Or actually, no. You are balanced right now. You are an internal observer. You sit within yourself and you watch the outside world and you respond to your inner urges with the outside world. But you're not, it's like the pendulum is just in the middle, just going gently back and forth. And you're a mediator between yourself and the world, and you do it smoothly and easily. But you're not really making that big impact in the world that you could make and that you know you want to make deep down, because you haven't actually dove deep down to see exactly what kind of impact you really want to make. You gotta love yourself by getting in touch with your true desires. This Garden of Eden, this heaven on earth, is inside you. Get quiet, go in there, do your homework, study yourself. This is gonna take a leap of faith. It's intuition, but your angels, be that God, whoever guides you, is with you and will light the way so that you will not get lost in communication. You will not get lost in yourself. You're not gonna turn into a depressed, sad loser. You just won't. That's not who you are. You're like, oh, there's something you feel bad in the past. I don't want to dwell on negative things. Inside there are negative things, and you will sort through them when you get there in time. There are also many positive things, and you have to be brave to sort through all the inner things. So go in your journal, or go to a person, or go to your prayer closet, or talk to the mirror, and maybe therapy, maybe it's just making art, but you have to start producing things that are inside you so that you can look at them, because you can't see what's inside you unless it's outside you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't look at your own eyes, you can't bite your own teeth, stuff like that. You can't hear your own thoughts until you speak them. You can't have a good intuitive emotional judgment about your own heart the way you do other people's, because you see into other people like deeply, and you can see into yourself that way too if you're brave enough to look in the mirror and see both the garden and the darkness. And then when you heal the darkness, you can confidently bring everything inside you out into the real world and actually make real steps and real plans to make your dreams come true, which will be the easy part for you. Once you know what you want to do, you're just going to be like, and now we're going to do it. Straight up easy. But part of what's holding you back from being so honest and getting feedback from other people is that I'm not getting that it's fear to look inside. You're not afraid of what you're gonna see. It's in a weird sense like an almost laziness. You're not a lazy person, but when it comes to deep emotional work. It's just like, oh my God, that's such an emotional roller coaster. It's just so exhausting. And yes, but it's worth it. It's just part of the work to make an impact in the world. And that's what I'm hearing. Oh, one more thing. Don't let others make you feel bad. In the other reading, there was this, don't let others make you feel bad. If you're wrong and people are mean to you, they're more wrong than you, unless you were mean to them first. God will never make you feel bad. That's the one thing I want to leave you with. God loves you so much. And he loves when you feel good, and he loves when you love yourself. And if you're feeling bad when you're with God, it's because he's exposing how you already felt bad, because he's just a light. And if you feel bad when you're with him, you already felt bad deep down, and we're just ignoring it and repressing it. And he's bringing that up so you can heal it. When other people make you feel bad, it's not because they're seeing into you, it's because they're projecting onto you. That said, I'm gonna cut it off here. I hope everything is well with you and your life. Thank you for giving me some of your time.